Briana Miller has been here before.
I went to my first treatment center, my very first, when I was 21, and I proceeded to do 9 more after that. This is my 10th one. So at 33 years old, I'm here again.
Briana's life as an addict began at 14 when she took her first drink. Since then, she has experimented with cocaine, meth, crack, and heroin, and has always returned to drinking. But this isn't the only life Briana has known. Once she found sobriety for 5.5 years, the happiest years of her life.
I had a piece of life. I was laughing. I had a fire, and I went to college. I graduated. I built a business that I was very successful at, personal training, teaching group fitness. I work with the elderly. I just got complacent, you know. I forgot. I thought I was unique. I thought that since I had some time, you know, it was okay.
That was when she allowed herself a single drink. It turned into another, and soon sent her spiraling back into addiction.
And I remember writing a goodbye letter to my mom and telling her that this was what I wanted. And I told her not to cry. And I said it would just be easier for all of us. And I took about 80 pills. And I remember taking every one of them. And then the next thing I remember, I woke up in ICU 3 days later. And I remember being so pissed off because I woke up. I was so mad I woke up.
Desperate to quit and get her life back, Briana called a man she admired, Eddie Grijalva, a counselor in Tucson's New Directions Residential Treatment Center. She knew Grijalva from a past stint at New Directions and asked him for help. Now she's back at New Directions, 8 days into treatment.
I just pray that I figure out why I keep going back, why I feel like I'm so worthless, why I feel like I'm not worthy of being sober, and that I'm valuable. You know, my mom deserves the rest of her life knowing that her daughter's alive and happy. You know, and I will do my best to give her that gift.
It says, "Dear Heroin, I'm writing you this letter to tell you that I can no longer continue my life with you."
Grijalva has helped develop an unconventional, holistic approach to treatment at New Directions. In addition to 12-step programs and individual and group therapy sessions, Briana's 90-day treatment can include spiritual and cultural practices that aid in recovery. The center also practices what's called trauma-informed care, which addresses the traumatic childhood experiences that often fuel addiction.
It was just the fact that they weren't there, you know, emotionally, and
the use of drugs and alcohol is only a symptom of something else that's going on in their lives. And so we're moving more towards what is called trauma-informed care. And we're finding out that as high as sometimes 80 and 90% of the people that would come to us have suffered some sort of trauma. But the trauma goes untreated, and as the trauma goes untreated, we begin to repeat those things over and over again.
And I feel like everyone owes me because I had
A week later, Briana begins to talk about her trauma, the childhood abandonment and sexual and emotional abuse underlying her addiction.
I was molested before I started the compulsive overeating.
She reveals for the first time that she's also struggling with an eating disorder.
And I feel like a little girl. I feel like I want to run. Like, I'm 33. I feel like I want to run and hide, and I go either drink or I isolate and compulsively overeat just to numb those feelings. And I really didn't want to share this with this group because I'm really embarrassed.
Briana is asked to give up the stash of food she's been keeping in her room. For her, that represents a terrifying loss of control that soon leads to conflicts with the staff.
Today is my 60 days here, and I didn't think I would make it. Especially the last couple weeks, really fighting the program, really not wanting to be here, really ungrateful.
Resistance is part of recovery, but so is giving it up, Grijalva says.
And we tell him, probably right now we care more about you than you care for yourself. And you're going to have to trust us that we know something you don't know. Because remember, we're dealing with a large population who can't trust anybody. And maybe rightly so, but if you want to change, at some point you have to trust somebody that they're going to lead you in the right direction.
Briana chooses to trust, and 30 days later she prepares for her graduation from the treatment program.
So my parents just rang the doorbell. I feel nervous.
Hello. Hi, Daddy.
Hello.
Thanks for coming.
Briana's mother and stepfather, 2 family friends, and her dog are coming to her graduation. Her stepfather has never before taken part in Briana's rehabilitation.
Thanks for coming.
90 days after desperation drove her back to new directions, Briana says something fundamental has changed. Now she wants to stay clean for herself.
You know, I was here for my mom. You know, and I didn't feel like I was deserving of another chance. I felt like I was just a failure. Not that I had made, you know, mistakes, but I thought I was a mistake, that I didn't deserve this other opportunity because I've done it so many times. And, you know, just getting to the point where, you know, I do deserve a better life. You know, I wasn't created to live the way I was living. I wasn't. That's not why I was put here.
I've had the opportunity to focus on what happened to me rather than what is wrong with me. My life revolved around anyone and anything that could alter the way that I felt. I have made mistakes in my life, but I am not a mistake.
Briana leaves with her family, ready to begin a new and different journey.
Step this back.